Second lounge episode, Tommy.
Yes, that is right.
Great to have you on.
It is good to be here.
It is great. And it's really important, I thought, that I'd get you on. Just to clarify, everybody, that the person that is sitting on the other side of the couch is a big part of this podcast. He does everything apart from feature on the cameras, pretty much. And
Yes,
you're finally featuring on the cameras now.
That is correct,
It is correct. So pretty much what you do, I mean, you can explain what you do.
Yeah, so pretty much I am the producer of the... you could say producer of the podcast.
Yeah. You're more than a producer.
Yeah, well...
You're an editor.
I film, I record,
Yep.
I edit, make all the clips, reels,
Make all
post,
the socials.
all the content.
Literally, the only thing I've done in the socials is produce a post
Yes, that is
about
true.
Louis Rowan. Check out the interview if you haven't. Very good interview.
It was a good interview. I would recommend it. Go watch all
Commonwealth
the videos.
Games runner, and I did a little post about him, which really good contribution to the social media page, wasn't it?
It really was. It really helped
Really
reduce
good. And
my
I think what
workload.
I've done is I've made the bio. So that's about all I've done away from the cameras.
Yeah, because I spent about 6 or 7 hours on the weekend
Yeah.
editing just the reels and
Yep.
clips for Cohen's episode, which was fun.
I do have the best job. Because
Yeah,
literally,
you get the better end
and
of it.
I'll be honest. I'll be the first to admit that, all I do is sit on a couch and talk. It's a pretty good job.
But to be honest, if we didn't have you, then there would be no podcast.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't have me, there would be
Exactly.
no podcast.
Exactly.
So it's a trade-off.
We're two important people. We are two important
You could
people.
say that.
Because you're usually on that side.
I am, yeah. So
And if you hear voices, I mean, the last, the lounge episode that we've just posted of Cohen, you would have heard a couple of chats from Thomas behind the mic.
possibly.
So check out that episode
Yes.
also. So that is Tommy. He's behind the mic. He's doing all the editing and everything. How did this podcast actually start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it almost a year since the podcast actually started. Well, at the time of recording, it's almost a year. When you're seeing this episode, it will have been a year.
Yeah. So once we've posted this, it is a year.
Yeah. What
date was it?
The 16th was when we posted the first episode
16th
of August.
It's gone quick.
It has. It actually has. It feels like we've been doing it for a lot longer than.
Yeah. But it was weird
that,
because it was a chat at school, wasn't it? This was to start the podcast. It was a chat at school.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really remember it too much.
I think.
But,
and because I want to be a sports commentator, and I think we decided a podcast was a good idea.
Yeah, well,
get yourself out there, have a, share a little bit of knowledge if I have any, and interview some people. Although really the interview, there was a few episodes of recaps only. And then there was a long break over the summer, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 months, I reckon.
Then we sort of came back with a plan, which was to get the cameras involved, to start interviewing people. It was, it's been a unique journey.
Yeah, from my memory, I think, because obviously you want to be a footy commentator and cricket commentator or commentator of some kind. And I from my memory, I came to you and I said, mate, you should start up a podcast because that's a good way to get your name and voice out there and kind of show the world what you're capable of in terms of commentary and that. And then a few weeks later, episode 1 was out.
But it was good because you already had the stuff here.
I did most of it. I had some stuff.
Most of it.
There was as the podcast has been going throughout the year, we've been getting new additions.
Well, these boom arms are new.
They are new. So the last few episodes, you will have noticed that these are a new addition.
And there's a new setup happening. Should we share the viewers?
We can definitely share that.
So pretty much, we're scrapping the couch, everybody. We have everything set up. All we need is a table now. So what it's going to be is it's going to be a table straight down the center of this studio, and we have 4 boom arms, 4 microphones. So that will allow for 4 people.
Yes, we will be able to do 4 people episodes at one point.
And it'll be a bit more realistic and suitable because, look, a couch is comfortable, but you do tend to, twist a little bit.
Yeah, that
people
is true.
What do they call it? Arthritis or osteoporosis, they'll tend to struggle. So having a table and then seats facing with the boom arms, it'll be a good addition.
Definitely. So I was actually thinking, and this is a question for the viewers out there, I've was thinking of potentially making a behind the scenes video of how we do everything. So from the process of Jonesy writing out the notes and the scripts and whatever for the episodes, to actually filming the episode, to then me taking it and editing, and kind of taking you through the whole process, and also kind of doing a bit of a studio tour.
Have people along with the journey as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I've got written down here the lounge and how that started. Obviously, you're the second person on here.
Yes, that is
after
true.
Cohen. And I did go on a little 5-minute spiel about it, didn't I? I dragged on a bit about why we did it and why we're happening. But I think it's a good addition because it gives more variety, more options, more people to interview. Like yourself.
Exactly, so, yeah, because with the main podcast, obviously, you're restricted at sports people and that the people of that nature, whereas with the lounge, it allows for more variety, non-sports related people
that might not even have been on a podcast.
Exactly.
Have you been on a podcast?
Yeah, I've been on. I was actually episode 4 of this podcast.
Episode 4, you have featured on the Sporting Fix.
Yeah,
but this is like a real feature.
Yeah, this is a real feature. That back then was.
It was the grand final
only like
one.
8 minutes or so. It wasn't very long.
Because we talked about like the controversy with Kiss.
Yeah,
whether they were lip syncing. Yeah. Go to that video if you want and have a look because there was a bit of controversy about their performance. Great performance. I loved their performance.
It was very good.
Katy Perry's the grand final entertainer.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Thoughts?
Where I saw it. I mean, I don't listen to her music, so I don't really have too many thoughts on it.
I mean, it's a big get. Like, she's a massive musician.
That is true. Big name.
Because Gillen McLaughlin, who was the previous CEO, he was trying so hard to get all these people, and then in comes the new CEO, and he's got Katy Perry. So, look, I think she will be good, but obviously people have their mixed opinions on it.
Yes.
And everything. But, yeah, the Kiss controversy, there was a bit going on there.
Yeah.
What was our final answer? Was it lip sync or not? I think it was.
Yeah, well...
Literally, we can't make assumptions.
Yeah.
They're 70 years old, and I've just lost my pen. They're 70 years old, and...
You did that about once
I do it every day. I've got to get it back.
You really got to get a tighter grip on that.
I literally do. But yeah, they were a good performance, but interesting controversy associated with it.
Definitely.
Yes. Well... I guess that's the birth of the podcast.
Yeah,
Is there anything else to add about that?
I don't think I can really think of anything else.
No.
Yeah, other than, if you want to see a behind the scenes video, then let us know in the comments of whatever platform you're watching this on. And
I'd love to hear the audience and the viewers' thoughts on, we always get new ideas from people who want us to do things. And recently we've had one where we have been asked an idea was to interview local footy players.
Yeah, that is true. That is more interview opportunities.
The issue is, would we start another side series? I do like the ideas that people bring up because it's something to consider, and it's really good that people are sharing their thoughts.
Yeah, and if any of the listeners have their own ideas of things that you want Jonesy to incorporate into the podcast, or any feedback for quality and anything related to the podcast, feedback wise or idea wise, then definitely let us know.
Take it on board. You're a crypto man, aren't you?
That is true. I am a crypto man. You are a crypto man.
Is that a crypto jumper?
No.
No, okay, never mind.
I'm not wearing my Binance hoodie. This is Volcom.
Oh, what's Volcom?
I don't know, some like surf company or something.
Oh, okay, nice. Anyway, you're a crypto man. I just thought with the gem on the jumper it could have been.
What? Gem on the jumper?
A gem.
Oh, gem.
Like a diamond.
Yeah, right. I thought you were really getting yourself jam, mate.
Yeah.
Bloody
jam and cheese on toast.
Exactly.
Wow. What are your thoughts on that?
No.
No?
I mean, I haven't tried it.
You got to get
obviously
on it.
Can't get it out.
Your father has it, you've said.
He has heard of it before.
Yeah. I consume it on a daily. Well, maybe not a daily.
Well, that's not what you said on the cover.
No,
but because he didn't want him to punch you in.
I do love it. It is a good food.
We should also probably mention before we're going into crypto. I mean, we kind of did mention it before that I'm the producer in that, and that's why the set looks a bit different.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you're thinking what on earth is going on with this table, we've got... Look, I'm not good with tech. What even is that thing?
This is the audio interface.
So what's it do?
It essentially allows the microphones to be plugged into it to
Yeah.
then connect to the computer to record.
And if you're thinking why this bloke's wearing headphones,
yeah, actually, that's another good point as well.
I don't even know why you are.
Yeah, ideally, I would like to get headphones for you and all of the guests you have
Yeah.
on. But
Just
currently,
to monitor audio or something.
yeah, it's so I can monitor audio and
Mm.
make sure everything is sounding
But yeah, if
good.
you're thinking, like, why on earth is it a mess? It's because technically, well, actually not technically, literally we have no one monitoring the screens.
Yeah, because usually I am behind the
Correct.
camera.
But
in
we
all
had
the
to
episodes.
get you on. We need people to know exactly, the Sporting Fix committee, you could say.
Rightio, you
Yourself
could say
and
that.
I.
Yep.
But back to crypto.
Yes, sorry.
You love crypto.
I am quite interested in crypto.
And I am clueless about crypto, and I'll be the first to admit that.
Yeah, that's a...
My first question for you is, how long have you actually been into it?
So, if we're talking in terms of being invested compared to interested in researching, I've actually been invested in it for just over 2.5 years.
So you mean invested as in you've put money into it?
Yeah, I have put money into
for
it.
2.5 years?
Yes.
I will write that down.
Don't know what use that's going to come to.
2.5 years. Yes. And just knocked myself out with the microphone. And then, of course, how long have you actually been aware of it and interested in it?
I definitely the year before. So in 2021 was when I started to really look into crypto and everything, and then the 1st of January 2022 was when I bought my first $100 in Bitcoin.
And why did you do that?
Buy $100 in Bitcoin?
Correct.
Because Bitcoin is the top cryptocurrency. It's the highest market cap. It is the kind of the cryptocurrency that everyone thinks of when you think of crypto.
Yeah, it is. What about Dogecoin?
That's I do have a little bit of that, but not
So what's
a
that
lot.
do?
So it doesn't really do much. It's what you call a meme coin.
A meme coin.
Yes.
But you've put money into Dogecoin.
No, I actually got it for free.
And how'd you do that?
There's like websites. This is going to sound
Are these
weird.
legal websites?
It is. Yes, it's legal.
Okay, they're
It's
legal. This bloke is illegal. He's a legal person. He's not illegal.
There's websites you can go to that you like play games, and you can like get money from playing the games.
Can you do that for Bitcoin?
Yeah, but I just wanted to redeem my like currency in Doge.
And what did you know about Bitcoin that made you say, "Oh, I'll put $100 in that"?
It essentially the fact that it is the biggest. It has pretty much always been the biggest. It was also the first cryptocurrency, so it kind of established the whole.
It was a big thing in year 8.
Was it now?
Well, it was because everyone was on it, and it was fluctuating up and down, and it was at 80,000, 100,000.
Well, yeah.
What's it at now?
Right now it is about 101 Australian.
Really? Because there was a time where it was like 40,000, wasn't there?
Yeah. So I think it was about 40,000 when I first bought in.
But hasn't it been around for like ages?
Yeah, it has been around since 2009.
And
so
how
15
come
years.
all of a sudden it's popped off?
Well, it hasn't. It's just that we have got old enough to be conscious about it.
Ah.
No, it's the 2020 was at 2021 was like the first kind of big break. Well, not big break. It was where it kind of first really hit hard into mainstream media, and everyone kind of started to learn about it because obviously lockdowns, everyone had extra money to spend in that, so people were looking to invest their money. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were kind of the new thing to try, and with the halving happening at around 2020, also bringing prices up, there was just kind of all just aligned really well into big all-time highs and lots of publicity.
So if a person like me, where I'm obviously not digitally currentalized,
I don't know if
educated.
that's what you'd call it, but
I'm not educated
You're-
digitally, like financially.
you're
So
illiterate
so in other words,
on the
I don't know anything
cryptocurrencies.
about crypto.
Yeah.
How would I invest? Is it smart for me to invest, or do I have to know a bit about it?
I would say, well, obviously, none of what you hear on this podcast is financial advice.
No.
So don't be suing us for if you do what I say. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to do anything, but just be wary.
Yeah, because
so-
I don't care about you guys. No, I'm joking. I do care about you guys, but I want to know how I would want to invest. And do not take this the wrong way at all.
Yeah.
Do not listen to us. You don't have to.
So I would say that you shouldn't invest in crypto unless you really know what you're doing and actually know a bit about it and how to what wallets are, the difference between like hot and cold wallets, and how to actually transfer crypto, public keys, private keys, wallet addresses, kind of that thing. Obviously nowadays you can just sign up to an exchange, press buy, and it's simple as that. But if you really want to kind of go into your crypto a bit deeper and want to
bit of gibberish,
and you want to evolve your usage of cryptocurrencies, and that you should definitely know what you're doing before you buy it, even if you are just going to buy it on an exchange simply.
Yeah. Well, as an example, I got an example. If I were to just put like $100 in, like, I don't get how the money and the numbers work, and I'll give you an example, and hopefully you sort of know what I'm saying.
Right, let's see how this
So
goes.
I'll put $100 on Bitcoin when it's at like $50,000 Australian, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And just say a couple of years later, I cash in, if that's the terminology, in and get
we
the
can
money
use that.
back. And I cash in when it's at 100,000.
Yep.
And I put in $100.
Yep.
What do I get?
200.
How?
I hope my math is correct on that, but because
Sorry, I'm writing this down. So I put in $100 when Bitcoin is at 50K.
Yep.
Transfer 3 years, and that when Bitcoin's at $100,000.
Yes.
I get $200.
Yeah, if my math is correct.
And can you explain the numbers behind that?
Okay, so essentially the price of a cryptocurrency is determined on the market cap, which is essentially the value of all of the cryptocurrencies put together.
Not just Bitcoin?
Just Bitcoin. If we're looking at just
Okay.
Bitcoin, because there's the market cap.
So the market cap at the time would have been 50,000?
No, that would be the
Ooh.
price. The market cap would be whatever billions or millions or trillions of dollars it is.
Wow.
And so essentially for the price to go from 50,000 to 100,000, the market cap would have to double. So let's just say...
Okay. I get what you're saying now. I do get what you're saying.
Yes.
So from 50K to 100K, it's doubled.
Yes.
Obviously, $100 to $200, it's doubled.
Yes.
So if I were to put $1 million in it would have turned into $2 million.
Yes.
Okay. And how does the money increase and decrease over time in terms of
It's
Bitcoin?
essentially... it's similar to just regular investing in shares or stocks and regular investing. It's just people buying and selling. And...
You went to like a Sydney conference about it, didn't you?
I went to...
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne. It was
Melbourne conference.
When I went this year. It's in Sydney.
There is one in Sydney. So does it change every year?
Yeah.
And what's the conference called?
It's the Australia Crypto Conference. Convention.
Convention.
AusCryptoCon.
Okay. And where in Melbourne was it?
The convention centre.
Oh, okay. And you were there for what, 2 days?
2 days.
1
2 day
night?
event. 1 night. Yeah.
And what do they do there? If you can consume that Fanta.
Yeah. So essentially the AusCryptoCon, because I went last year.
Yep.
It was a big space at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how large it was, but there was like 250 exhibitors. Like I think 7,700 people who went.
Wow.
So essentially, with hundreds of different speakers at the events. So essentially, it was big convention.
And they were giving advice?
They weren't giving advice.
Were they not legally allowed to?
Yeah, they're not financial advisors. But so essentially,
what did they do?
So essentially, what it was, so the exhibitors are businesses related in the crypto space. So whether it's like CoinSpot or Binance or a bunch of other like startups and that in the crypto world, and they had their little exhibit trying to get people to use their product, tell people about their product, sell their product to these people, educate people about their product and that, and then there was also multiple stages around the place where you could go and you could listen to a talk from different people talking about different topics. So whether it is CBDCs with Ronnie, someone from the Litecoin Foundation, I think that was what it was, or if it's Michael Saylor talking about Bitcoin, or some guy from Binance talking about the Binance ecosystem, or different people, different speakers talking about their expertise in different areas of the crypto space.
And you took a lot home.
Yeah, I
in
got
terms of physically and intellectually, I hope.
Yes,
But
I did get lots
physically,
of
my
information
goodness.
for that. Yeah, I got a bunch of free stuff.
Can you list them if you can remember?
Yeah, well, I did get a Binance hoodie, which I'm currently not wearing, which is what I assume you thought I was wearing.
Yeah,
But,
Volcom. Volcom sounds crypto, but clearly it isn't.
Yeah,
Because
no.
com is like computer, and vol is like volume. It's just like volume computer, and it's technological.
You could say that,
and if
you
it's
want, I
technological,
suppose.
it's crypto, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, but you took a lot home.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, so listening to all the speakers was pretty good. Being able to actually learn from different speakers and learn about different concepts. Hearing Michael Saylor speak was pretty...
Yes.
Yeah. Hearing Michael Saylor speak about Bitcoin was pretty interesting. I think it was a 50-minute speech.
And what was interesting about it?
So you're really jogging my memory here because it was over a year ago since I went.
Well, if you don't remember, then clearly it was important. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I am joking.
No. Yeah, so, I mean, Michael Saylor, he's like probably for those who don't know, he is, you could say, probably the biggest bull in the crypto.
Bull?
In Bitcoin.
And what defines a bull?
So essentially in investing in crypto and stocks, that you have what is called a bull and a bear market.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, a bull market is what happened in 2020.
Yep.
In 2021, where prices were soaring through the roof, reaching all-time highs, and when the market's really strong and there's lots of interest and lots of people are investing, where a bear market is essentially the complete opposite. So we are probably in a bear market, and we are entering out of the bear market into the bull market because of the recent halving. So Michael is the biggest bull, you could say, when it comes to Bitcoin.
It's interesting terminology.
It is, but it's been used for hundreds of years and stuff.
Right. So what's the future of crypto? You know, there's so much future of sport and a lot. Is there a future of crypto?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that, like, at the moment, so even though it is 15 years old, the whole concept of cryptocurrencies, the actual is still very young relative to other investment things and other technologies and that. And so, excuse me. Yeah, I know, I've got to...
I'll talk while you drink that bit of water. I do have a couple of questions regarding crypto, and obviously the future of it is one of them, if you can answer that one. Thank you.
Yeah, just answer that. So, yeah, we're now kind of at the stage where people are innovating with different ideas in crypto, and we've kind of gone past the stage of, let's just throw all our money in this crypto because it's a dog or whatever. And we're now in the stage of, okay, well, now people are actually looking for utility in crypto, in different cryptocurrencies, and the use of blockchain and smart contracts and all these different use cases. So, like with the blockchain, for example, the blockchain is essentially a ledger of all transactions in a specific cryptocurrency, and essentially that could be used in like a real life in terms of just general bank transactions. It could be used for storing information that is important for it to not be like fraudulent or forged. So you could be seeing things like people's IDs being on the blockchain, because essentially how the blockchain works in decentralization is there's all these people with either mining the cryptocurrency or staking, or they're running nodes, and essentially they're all verifying the blockchain to make sure everything's legit. So if one person tries to change the blockchain or a transaction on the blockchain, and then it gets published it attempts to be published to the block, all these other contributors will essentially because they have all the transaction history, they'll be able to see and eventually figure out that it is invalid, something that it's invalid what happened, and will block it in that. So
there is a lot to it.
Yes, the whole crypto space is very vast and
quite confusing. There'd have to be people that invest and know nothing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
there's any stats to back that up. I thought there was one I saw where a certain percentage of people are not crypto knowledgeable. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Or
So it was
illiterate?
crypto illiteracy.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1 in 3 people who are invested in cryptocurrencies actually know pretty much nothing about how it works and that.
And why would they invest?
Because they're like you, how you like, oh, let me chuck in $100 and when I don't actually know anything.
But is that smart?
Well,
But is Bitcoin always going to go up? If you hold it long enough, is it always going to go up?
historically, it has.
Okay. So you don't need to be knowledgeable.
You should be knowledgeable on what you invest in.
But you don't need to be.
You definitely should be.
You should be.
You should know what you're investing in.
So if you're in my position and all you knew about Bitcoin was its name, and you got $100, would you invest that?
I would go to YouTube and start watching videos on what Bitcoin, what blockchain, what cryptocurrencies are. Start educating myself how to send transactions, how does it work. Learn about it before you invest it. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and you know a lot about the crypto space. Is that like the most impressive, fascinating stat you know, or is there one that you do that's even more when you're jogging back your memory?
Yeah,
now?
Definitely am now.
But is there something that like a fact that you just your jaw dropped when you say it? Because that one is quite concerning. I would say.
Yeah, the 1 in 3. Well, I think it's not so more a concerning fact. It's more of a, you could say, optimistic fact. But last time I checked, I believe there's only about 400 million people invested in cryptocurrencies, which is a relatively small number.
That's only
compared to the
what's America's population?
300.
300 on the dot,
give or take.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not a lot of people.
Yeah, so relative to the Earth's population, there's really not a lot of people who are invested. So really the people, at the moment, you're not late if you're investing. I mean, obviously you're later than others, but we haven't really got to the stage of cryptocurrencies and their use cases for where it is fully mainstream to where like the use of credit cards or debit cards are now.
So with the crypto mining, mining is another weird term. There's a lot of weird terms in crypto, isn't there?
Yeah.
A bull mining. But it's not.
You want to hear another one?
What?
HODL.
Huh?
HODL.
HODL.
Yes, HODL.
HODL.
Yes.
Hold on for dear life.
Yes, mate. You got it. That's good. That's
I'm all
good.
over it. And what does that even mean? Hold on to what for dear life?
Your bag, your diamonds, your investments, your crypto.
So you never invest? Well, no. Okay, you invest, but you never cash in. What's the point?
No, well, it's like it doesn't mean never sell. It means like hold on during the bear markets.
Bear where it's low.
Yes.
Well, you wouldn't cash in when it's low.
You'd be surprised how many people.
Why would they do that?
Because they're scared of losing their money.
That they cash in and they get less.
Yes, there's plenty of people who see their prices going down and they sell.
But that's interesting.
Because
this is a question. If I put in $1,000, right, and it goes so low that I am pooing my pants, right, and I invest or I cash in, like what could I receive? If I put in $1,000,
if you put in $1,000,
yeah,
it depends how much it goes down.
Well, it goes down 30%.
Well, then you lose 30% of 1,000, so you're left with 700.
So, why? I'm not even crypto knowledgeable, and I would know not to cash in when it's gone low.
Yeah, well, I can tell you a good story of people cashing out when it's going low.
Please
do. It was a few years ago where a cryptocurrency called Luna absolutely died. Because it was a scam, right? So, I don't remember if it was a scam, the token stuff. I'm pretty sure it was the stablecoin variant that was a scam, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Wait, what was it called again?
Luna,
I
think.
Luna.
Yes. Terra Luna, possibly. I'll look it up real quick.
Yep, Luna. And it was a scam.
Yeah, and so people were selling at the prices. No, okay, what happened, right? Okay, so there's 2 cryptocurrencies owned by essentially under the same branch, right?
Okay.
So there was Luna, and then there was USDT, I think.
Okay.
I think it was called. Yeah. So Okay, so Luna. No, I'm completely making stuff up. It's called Terra Classic.
Terra Classic.
Yeah, so
and that's a scam.
Yeah. So, well,
Spelt?
Terra Classic wasn't the scam, but it was the stablecoin variant that was the scam. Because so a stablecoin is essentially a cryptocurrency that is pegged or supposedly pegged to another currency, whether it's a fiat currency, another cryptocurrency. So in the form of Terra, which is probably the biggest. Tether.
Tether.
The biggest stablecoin that is essentially pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. So that means so it's always even to the US dollar. So there was a variant of this that was by the people who created Terra Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially the stablecoin, it destabilized. So it unpegged from the dollar, which shouldn't happen.
And if it happens, it's a scam. Is that
not saying? Necessarily that it's a scam, but something wrong happened. Something bad happened, and essentially people saw that and they then started selling, and they wanted to get out. And so people were selling not only their stablecoin but also Terra Classic, which is the one that crashed, right? And so essentially what people did is they were selling, and as prices were going down, because it was one of the top cryptocurrencies, and so people thought it would do well, right? So people wanted to invest, they wanted to make their money back, and so people saw the prices going down and they're like, let's buy in. So I believe it was KSI or Logan Paul, I think KSI, he invested like $3 million or something.
Into what?
Into Terra Classic.
Ooh, and he wouldn't have got it back.
And it kept going down. And that $3 million turned into like $28 or something.
And that's a scam.
Yeah, so yeah, Terra Luna. So he lost $2.8 million in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a good example of people buying or selling. No, that's not even related to the original question. It's a bit of a side rant.
What was my question?
It was why would people
hold on for dear life?
Why would people sell when the price is going down? But this was a case of buying when the prices were going down, because it was such a well-known cryptocurrency. People thought it would go back up, but it went down. KSI lost $2.8 million. It continued going down. That turned into like $1.
Well, if you held on for dear life then that's no good.
Exactly.
So you only hold on for dear life when it's an actual suitable currency. It's all suitable crypto. Yeah. Pretty much like non-scammy, non-corrupt.
But the thing is, at the time, people didn't know.
True.
And essentially...
So does that mean Bitcoin could be corrupt and we just don't know it?
It's unlikely.
It's unlikely, but there's a chance. I
mean, there's a chance with anything, but
yeah.
it's unlikely. But with Terra Luna, right? It was the creator. He went to prison or something, I think, because of fraud or whatever, related to this. And they actually tried to make a second coin, but that never went anywhere.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, back to my original question, and this was about mining. Because what happened? So we talked about mining, then we talked about the vocab and terminology.
Yes.
So we go back to the mining.
Really got sidetracked there, didn't we?
Yeah. So what is crypto mining? Because I hear the word all the time.
Yeah. So essentially, crypto mining in the terms of Bitcoin, we'll look at it because that's probably the most simple way to look at it. So essentially there are the way that the blockchain is verified is because of, or one of the ways, because you can run nodes, but that's another thing I don't really know too much about. But essentially, mining is the main way that the blockchain is verified in terms of Bitcoin and those cryptocurrencies there. So essentially, what you get people using computers or a special device called an ASIC miner, which is built purposely for mining cryptocurrencies. And essentially, this computer will solve really, really complicated math problems And when it solves the problem, it will reward the user with Bitcoin. And essentially solving this math problem is kind of verifying the transaction history and future transactions to make sure that they're all legit and there's no fraudulent transactions.
And is there... Because when I hear crypto mining, I hear environmental impact.
So
Elaborate.
the reason why there's the environmental impact is because crypto mining uses a whole lot of power to run, because you're running computers for 24/7, and you need not only the computers, but you need the cooling for the computers. So you have lots of fans running to cool them down, and essentially that's using a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
And and so with coal produced power, and that's where the environmental impacts come from, but also from the actual mining of the resources to build these computers. Yeah.
And going back to the mining and stats again, because this is really testing my memory, but there was a stat that you said one time to me where you said a percentage of crypto's already been mined, but for it to be fully mined, it would take another 100 years or something?
Yeah, so currently, this is specific to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million coins.
21 million.
Currently, we are at about 19 million coins mined, meaning there's only about 2 million left.
Meaning the 2 million, it'll take how long for the 2 million to be mined?
It's estimated that the last coin will be mined in the year 21 something.
And how? How does it take... from 2009 to 2024, and for there to be only 2 million coins left, why would it take that long for the 2 million to be mined?
So essentially the reason is because of the thing called the halving, right, which happened earlier this year and back in 2020 and then 4 years before that. So essentially the halving happens roughly every 4 years, and the halving reduces the block reward, which is the amount of Bitcoin that miners get for verifying transactions. So at the moment it is now 3.25 Bitcoins per block, whereas before it was 6.25.
Right.
I've got that slightly wrong. It before it was 6.25 and now it's something like 3.125 or something.
Because they are fascinating stats. Like, I don't care who you are, whether you like crypto or not. That stood out to me.
Yes, it's very interesting.
Are there like really famous people investing? Elon Musk comes to mind.
Yeah, so in crypto, if you from the outside, just generally like people like you'd hear Elon Musk. From inside, obviously Michael Saylor, the biggest bull in Bitcoin specifically, he owns like over 200,000 Bitcoins, I believe, or over 100,000 Bitcoins, millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin.
So Musk invest?
Yeah, so back to Musk. I got sidetracked.
Musk. You love a bit of Elon Musk, don't you?
Yeah, so Musk, we don't know how much he has. Oh, Tesla. So he has invested with Bitcoin through Tesla, and he obviously loves his Doge. And
why?
Because it's a meme. It's funny.
But it doesn't have any benefits.
So Dogecoin was essentially like the first meme coin. Wow. So Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. Dogecoin was probably the first meme coin.
You can technically earn money from Dogecoin.
Yeah. So yeah, the prices go up. Why
is it called a meme coin and not a crypto?
Well, it is still a crypto. It's just that it's a meme coin because it was made. It was essentially exactly. So it was not necessarily. It was made as a joke. It wasn't made to. It wasn't never made to have to be this popular or be worth as much as it is and everything. But
I'm happy to chat about a bit of Elon Musk and a bit of electric cars.
We can move to that.
Tesla's the one that stands out to me, and other car brands have jumped on board in terms of electric cars.
Yes,
you've got Toyota Hybrid, which is both. What other electric cars are there? You got your Teslas, obviously. You've got what else?
No, it's not Peloton. Yeah,
I don't know. They're all irrelevant apart from Tesla.
Yeah, I don't really know.
There's different models of Tesla, but
Yes.
the more. Okay. Every day that I wake up, I see more and more Teslas.
Yes, it's because they are pretty popular.
I thought they were very expensive.
They are expensive. So in some cases, it's actually more expensive to buy a second-hand Tesla than to buy a brand new Tesla, which is very unique for cars and the car market because there's, or at least a few years ago, this was the case because there was not enough supply to keep up with demand.
So people were rushing to get Teslas. That second hands were more expensive.
Yes, and
Makes a bit of sense.
there was a point as well where you could actually buy Teslas with Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
So what's the best model Tesla, or is it up to opinion?
Well, I mean, it's up to opinion.
Well, what's your if I had every single model of Tesla cars in front of you, and I say pick one, you can have it for the rest of your life.
Model S Plaid.
Tesla. I'm going to search this up. Tesla what?
Model S Plaid.
Model S Plaid. Oh, okay.
I think that's how you say it. Plaid. I don't know.
Plaid. And is this like one of the most expensive ones?
One of. I don't know if it's but it's. I think
is
the
that
fastest.
Yeah, it looks alright.
So. Yeah,
it does look alright.
In my opinion, the Model S is one of the best looking Teslas.
Yeah. Is the Model 3 is the cheapest one?
Yeah, that's the most common one.
Do you like the look of that one?
Not the old one as much, but they recently redid the 3s and changed the look a little bit, and it looks better. But I think the S is the best.
So when did they actually start, like Tesla and electric cars?
Early 2000s, I believe.
What?
I think
2000s.
Is that sooner or later than you thought?
Bro, I thought it was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago? No, they've been around for so much longer.
Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla.
Why is all of a sudden everything taken off?
Because Elon Musk, bro.
Was he the owner? Did he find Tesla?
Yeah, he. Okay, I'll double check when Tesla was actually first.
Well, I'll say 2018.
Okay, I know it's not. It's not that early. It was later. Like it was at least like the
before 2010. You reckon?
Yeah.
What? Did anyone own a Tesla then?
Yeah, of course people owned Tesla then.
What? You're going to have to find out.
2003.
And they were electric?
Yeah. So...
why has...
I think that's the right Tesla.
How come I've only heard about Tesla in the past few years?
Because they've only got popular in the last few years.
Why? Because of the environment?
Yeah, probably.
But there's controversy associated with the environment, isn't there? And Teslas?
Hold up, let me just get this. Yeah, so 2003.
Wow. The controversy, though.
Yeah.
People say, they're electric, there's no carbon emissions, there's no petrol, it's all electric. Is that... it's an issue? Being electric, because obviously it'll cost money and probably cost the environment to build the batteries.
Yeah, so the point of people saying that, so obviously everyone's like, let's transition to electric cars because it's better for the environment and that, and
absolutely,
and everything and all that jargon, but in reality, so if I'm getting my stats correct,
yep.
it is more environmentally friendly for. Emissions wise for like to drive an electric car than it is to drive a petrol car, but the actual production emissions is more, and the actual damage to the environment is more detrimental in the creation of a electric car than of a normal petrol car.
And I feel like compared to petrol cars, electric cars are a lot less suitable, because with a petrol car you just go to the servo, fill it up with your unleaded or your diesel, and off you go, whereas the electric cars would take time to charge.
Yeah, well that's the thing, it's not only the time that it takes for them to charge, but it's also the fact that we don't really have the infrastructure here, especially in Australia. In places like America and that there's much more infrastructure, but we don't really have the infrastructure to support Teslas and electric cars here.
So how long does it take to charge one?
It depends on what type of charging you're using and that. So if you're using a supercharger, you can get done in like half an hour to 45 minutes, I believe.
Okay.
Whereas if you're charging at home, you can just plug it in overnight and it'll be charged by the morning.
But like if you're doing a supercharge and you're on, a fairly decent trip and you go and get it charged, what are you meant to do for 45 minutes?
Well, yeah, so
I feel like that's the issue that comes to my mind.
Yeah, so I mean, you could plan your trip to where you charge at a point where you wanted to stop anyways, or you want to stop and have a break, have lunch or whatever, and then it doesn't really take up the time if you're already planning on stopping and having lunch at a place. But obviously, if there's no superchargers there, then you've got to go where it's available.
Another issue.
So it's it takes time, but if you if you're driving like relatively short distances and you're charging it overnight, you shouldn't really have a problem. It's more so if you're going on a big road trip that you wouldn't want to take an electric car unless there is lots of infrastructure for charging.
Yeah. Are there like lots of I've just had a mind blank. No, I was going to talk about electric cars and how, because you said you can charge them overnight.
Yep.
Is that the slower? Is that slower?
Yeah, so it's definitely slower to charge it overnight at your house.
Yeah. And how do you... that would cost money to put a charger in your garage.
Yeah, it's like, for a Tesla, it's like $450 to actually buy the charger for your home, but then it's obviously whatever the installation fees are.
That's cheaper than I was expecting, actually.
Yeah.
$450, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and
I was expecting a bit more.
And I mean, the actual cost of charging it with electricity is going to be cheaper than a petrol car. In terms of like the cost to fill up your tank, it's cheaper to fill up your battery, but you've got the time difference then. So until we can really get the charging times down to like the few minutes it would take you to fill up your car, then it's like, well, and I mean, they're just in general the insane upfront cost to actually buy a Tesla.
So what are like the feet? Have you been in a Tesla before?
Yes, I have been in a Tesla a few
model?
times. The 3. Model
3. And what features, are the different models have different features, or are they all pretty much?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Elon Musk is a bit of a jokester, and he likes his memes, and he likes to incorporate funny features and silly features into his Teslas.
What's the silly one he's done?
Well, in all of his cars, you can essentially make them dance. So you can, if you have just your one Tesla there, or you can get a whole bunch of Teslas together, so 50, 100 Teslas together. Like, there's groups in like Europe that just have like car meets, but only for Teslas, and then they
dance.
They dance. So when I say they dance, you sync it up, you play the music, and then and then they like open their boot and go and close the windows up and down and adjust the side mirrors. And if you've got the Tesla Model X, it will actually flap its Falcon wing doors.
Like, what are the benefits?
Because it's funny. It's like, why wouldn't you want your car to dance?
Oh god!
Like Elon Musk, he likes his funnies.
He's weird.
He is a unique character, but I mean,
he's very weird.
But I mean, he's the one who's got a $300 billion net worth.
Is he the richest on the planet?
Not anymore.
Who is Bezos?
Nah, Elon Musk was overtaken not too long ago by the guy who owns like all of the luxury fashion brands, so like Louis Vuitton and like those ones, I think.
Right. And can Teslas drive by themselves and all that stuff?
Yes.
Right. And you can watch movies in them?
Well, you can't watch movies in them while they're driving, because you still legally have to be like focusing on the road. But so there is different levels of autopilots and that. So there's the simple one, which is just like it stays within the lanes of the road, which I mean most cars can do nowadays. And then there's the semi like self-driving, where it will automatically goes to speed limit. It automatically stays in the lanes. It can switch lanes if it wants to. And then
It'd be pretty silent. Like if you're in it, it'd be pretty quiet.
I mean, there's no engines. It's just the electric motors.
And the Cybertruck, this thing's a beast.
Yeah, I'll finish off with the automation part.
Oh yeah,
because I'm still going there.
Keep going.
And so there's like those stages, and then they're working on like the fully self-driving to where you put in your destination, then off it goes, and then it drives you there, does all the turns, does all the lights, it does all the speeds, everything like that.
I don't know how much we can say on this podcast, but can they be switched off?
Like what? Remotely?
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, probably.
Okay.
Possibly.
So there is a risk involved. Maybe.
Yes, possibly.
Right.
I
don't know if we
like that. People always joke around, or I mean, it's probably something that we will see one day. Whereas, if you're a criminal, you hop in your car and it drives you to the police station.
Yeah, imagine that. A Cybertruck. I do want to talk about. They're a beastly looking vehicle. They are weird.
Yeah, it's a unique looking.
And is it for 4-wheel driving?
You can.
Because it looks like what even is this thing?
Well, it's essentially a ute.
But because I've seen videos where people put their hand on the bonnet as it shuts.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
To test if it crushes their fingers or not. I've seen those videos too. It's pretty funny.
I don't know why they do it.
Because it doesn't work. Well, sometimes it works, sometimes
they want
it
to see
doesn't.
if it slices their finger.
Well, it doesn't slice. It never actually hurts them and cuts their finger off or anything. But it's supposed to, if not close, if you've got your finger in there.
Oh, but it does close.
Yeah, there's funny videos of like.
Oh. Is that actually it or is that AI?
No, that's a Cybertruck.
Because that looks terrible. Actually, no, it looks cool, but it looks completely useless.
Useless? In what way how does it look useless?
What sort of a design is that?
It's an Elon Musk design. Got to be unique. Got to be.
What's wrong with him?
Funky.
What is wrong with him? So, how much are they?
You can't buy them here in Australia yet, so I don't know.
Yet?
No.
So we'll be seeing Cybertrucks in a few years.
Hopefully. I mean, we currently can't. Currently in Australia, we can only buy 3s and Ys. We can't even buy X's or S's. Right. We used to, but then when they upgraded the 3s and Ys, they took off the X's and S's.
Is there any other controversy about the Teslas? Because we know that, or we've heard that, people can turn them off like that, or drive to the police station, or do this. It's bad for the environment. It's good for the environment.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than the fact that people just don't like electric cars in general, I suppose there's possible build quality issues with Teslas and the panel gaps not being all perfect and stuff like that. And then also the slow delivery times of he announced the Cybertruck back in 2018, I think, and he was meant to come out after a few years, and then it only came out this or last year. So it actually came out for the public well later than what it was originally intended to. And part of that, but part of the whole, most people, when you ask them where did you first hear of the Cybertruck, I imagine, and it was definitely probably the first time I heard about Tesla in general as a company, was the video of when the guy threw the steel ball at the Cybertruck window and it shattered when it wasn't meant to.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's unique.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, so essentially back when he first announced this Cybertruck, they brought it out on stage as a prototype, and essentially it has bulletproof windows and it's bulletproof and everything. And so here's a steel ball and they throw it at the window.
Wait, just some random guy in the audience?
No, not a random guy, one of Elon's.
Just to test it.
Yeah.
To see if, to prove that it's right.
Yeah, the idea was to show that it's bulletproof and it's not, and this steel ball will bounce off of the window and not actually damage it.
And it broke it.
And it didn't go through, but it did shatter it.
And what happened? Did Elon just get back to work to try and fix?
Well, you can, because it wasn't meant to happen. I think in the clip you can actually hear him swear and that because it wasn't meant to happen.
Oh wow!
But it's pretty funny and
did he got a lot of hate for it? Or
I
just
don't
like
really know if
pick up your game, Musk, pretty much like that.
I don't really know too much what happened as the result of it, but it definitely got him lots of publicity. So I guess that's one
So that's
good
probably
thing about it.
a main reason as to why it increased in popularity.
Yeah, I mean that's where I first heard of Tesla. I think so. It's
Yeah, they're interesting discussions because, like, I guess everyone has their own opinion and stuff on everything, but electric cars are very controversial.
yeah, because like people like why get an electric car? Like no one's forcing you to buy an electric car. If you don't like electric cars or you don't want an electric car, then don't buy one. Like you don't
I'm not
need
buying one.
Yeah, I mean good for you. You don't have to.
Kill the environment. No. I do love the environment. We've got to look after it, but I just don't think I'd get an electric car because I feel like they're more designed for shorter trips.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
you're
couldn't do
planning on
that.
going out into like the outback and that, then you wouldn't really want to.
No. It would have to be like a city car. Like
Yeah, so if you're living in like a big city like Melbourne or Sydney or that, then it'd be pretty good because it also has regenerative charging, meaning that when you essentially, when the car is, because it can automatically brake for you, and when it does that, it will essentially take the energy from the force of it braking and recharge the battery. So if you're in a city and you're constantly stopping and starting, it'll recharge it a bit. It's not going to recharge the whole battery, but it will recharge it a bit, meaning that your range can be longer. Exactly. So that it's definitely if you're in a city and that, then it's definitely
there's a lot to it.
Yeah,
so like
there's
if
lots
I would
of cool
ask you,
features.
because you want to get an electric car.
Yeah, I'd
like you want to. Is
pretty keen to
Tesla
get
your
a
dream
Tesla.
car?
Yeah, I'd
What
say.
about that?
Yeah.
So what are your reasons behind that?
I think it's cool. I'm a tech guy personally, so like I'm not really a car guy. Like I like tech, and Tesla is obviously one of a very high tech, and there's lots of tech in Teslas, and that's probably one of the main reasons. Like I don't really care about it for any other reason than the tech.
Yeah,
and
that is fair enough.
And just being in a Tesla, like if you ever get a chance to just ride in Tesla, definitely do it. Like
I would love to give it a go. But
it's good fun.
Yeah. Sorry to anyone if there was a bit of a blackout. It's because of the camera issues. Because obviously Thomas is not behind them. Yes. We have them all set up now. Back to your dream car. You said it's a Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we were talking about yeah, if you ever get to go in one, definitely do, because it's even just the difference.
It'll be a unique experience.
It definitely is a unique experience because obviously number one, they're silent, so you don't hear the engine. Which
it's so weird. It would be so weird.
It definitely is unique, especially with the extremely fast acceleration. You're expecting to hear like the loud engine, but in reality, you just hear like. And
is it smooth?
Yeah, it's smooth. But it's really quick accelerating. So like you can I think the Model S Plaid that I was telling you about before, that can go from 0 to 100 kilometers in 0.19 seconds. 199 seconds. So under 2 seconds it can go from 0 to 100. Bam.
What? Really?
Yes.
But the one that you went into, the Model 3...
Yeah, so that goes from 0 to 100 in about 6 or 7 seconds. Okay. So it's still bloody fast.
What's the normal petrol one do? Depending on the car, I guess.
Over 10, 15, 20.
0, so less than 2 seconds, one of the models can go from 0 to 100.
Yeah, so that's like kind of levels you're getting with like your supercars and that. Like that's faster than like a Lamborghinis and that. The Model 3.
Yeah. No, the
S Plaid.
Yeah.
I think to get the Model S just by itself is like 150. I think S Plaid is like 200.
Can you get S Plaid in Australia?
No, currently they're not selling the S's in Australia. But when they were, it was like 200 grand for S Plaid.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a bit of money, but like the 3 is like the cheapest version of the 3 is like 70. So it's still expensive, but it's like.
They are like hats off. Like these cars are designed really smartly. I mean, I did not know that when you brake, it would regenerate battery.
Yeah, it's there's lots of cool tech in them.
How is that even possible?
Lots of incredibly smart engineering.
It's ridiculous. I cannot wrap my head around it. But yeah, so I would love to give a Tesla a try, but I wouldn't have one myself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when you go in one, you might change your mind.
Maybe I might.
Or if you just.
But I tend to go out whoop whoop, don't I?
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I mean, you can keep it for the city, driving around from commentary gig to commentary gig.
Yeah.
When
But I
you're rich,
tend to
mate.
go in the middle of whoop whoop and
Yeah, but when you're rich, you can buy
Mm.
yourself plenty of cars.
Yeah, don't know if Tesla will be one of them. Don't know. Would you have just a normal Tesla, or would you have a couple of cars?
As in multiple Teslas.
As in no. Would you have like multiple cars?
Yeah, if I had the money, I'd definitely.
And would you have multiple
get
Teslas,
myself-
or one Tesla and one normal?
If I was to get multiple Teslas, it would be an S and a Cybertruck, I reckon. I don't think I'd get multiple of like 3s or X's or
No.
whatever.
I'm saying like if you would have multiple cars, would you get one Tesla and one petrol?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting 2 electrics. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been a good chat, Tommy.
Yeah, I know it has. What's that?
A bit
Just
over an
about
hour. They
Yeah.
tend to go for an hour, these
Yeah,
interviews.
although with all the flap in the middle, probably I'm estimating this one probably just under an hour,
Just under.
50 something minutes. So
Yeah.
unless we can
Well,
talk about
unless we
something
just
else real quick.
chibber on. Yeah. Well, we have talked about a lot. The birth of the podcast, bit of crypto, interesting stuff. And then, of course, electric cars, the Terra Classic crypto. That's a
Yeah,
corrupt one.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's lots of crypto scams that have
Mm.
happened. Lots of things I could talk about.
Yeah.
Lots of ways people have lost money.
There's controversy with everything these days, isn't there?
Yeah,
I mean, electric cars, there's controversy with everything. I don't know why. I guess everyone has their own opinions.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't mind it, though. I love hearing both sides of the story.
That's good if you can be open minded to analyze both sides of an opinion to then
Yeah.
formalize your own decision.
Well, that's a good way to do it. But, it's also fascinating just to hear people's own opinions.
Exactly, and I guess that's kind of the point of the lounge as well, to be able to,
Mm.
because obviously with the main show you're literally just getting sporting people,
Mm.
whereas this you can delve
Learn
into
a bit.
different.
I learn a bit with the
perspectives
Sporting
and learn a
Fix
bit.
interviews. But
That
this
is true. You do.
Like, I was walking into this interview, never going to get a Tesla.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Never say never.
Yeah, but I walk out of this interview thinking, okay, I haven't heard that perspective before. It's a good thing.
Mm.
It's a good thing. So no, it has been really good to get you on. I think you needed to get on. Like, you're a part of the Sporting Fix.
Yeah.
You got to get on, and I'm happy you've got on. We've covered a lot, so no, it's been a privilege.
It has been good to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll see you next time for maybe an interview or a recap. We'll find out.